My last two videos have been about journaling, what journaling is, and why you should start journaling. I also discussed the types and styles of journaling, understanding the differences between the two, and how you can choose the one that is best suited for you. In this video, however, we are going deeper. You want to know how to exactly start journaling. When you open your journal, what do you write? What do you say? And how do you do it in such a way that you actually enjoy what you are doing? That is what I'm going to be discussing in this video. The various steps you need to know in starting your journaling experience. Before you even think of getting a journal, you start thinking of journaling, you have to clearly determine the purpose for which you want to journal. Journaling is a highly purposeful activity. The moment you do it without purpose, you're going to be frustrated. You're just going to be floating around. And before you know it, you are like, I'm not journaling again. So it is very important that you set the purpose on what you want from this. So when you've decided your purpose for journaling, the second thing you have to choose is your journaling type and your journaling style. I made a video on this. You should go watch that video. In that video, I explained what journaling type and journaling styles are. It's the foundation. If you don't understand that there are types to journaling and there are styles to journaling, you're going to be frustrated. So in that video, I explained the types and styles of journaling, how you can choose the best one for you, how you can choose the one that is going to give you the maximum journaling benefits. So once again, go watch that video, and when you are done watching that video, I believe it's going to give you a sense of clarity as to what journaling style or type you want to begin with. Now that you have established your goals for journaling and the type and style of journaling you want to go into, the next thing you have to do is to choose the medium that will be best suitable for you. People use physical notebooks for their journaling. Some people use digital apps. And obviously for these two media, there are pros and cons, right? So you have to decide the one that you feel like is going to help you to journal more and make the best out of journaling. For me, I use a physical notebook because digital gadgets can be really distracting. Journaling is an intentional practice for me. So when I'm doing it, I want to have maximum concentration. Whatever works for you. Some people journal on their phones, their gadgets, their laptops, their iPads. They have specific gadgets for these things. So choose the one you want to use and go make preparations for it. The next thing is to choose a time you want to start journaling. Choose a time you want to start journaling. Do you want to be journaling in the mornings or evenings? When do you have time? When do you feel the most inspiration to journal? You have to look at your schedule. You have to look at what is sustainable. You don't have to journal every day. Choose what is sustainable for you in the long run. It's not about how often you do it. It's about the experience. For me, the experience matters more, because if I'm doing something and it feels like I'm forcing myself to do it and I'm putting myself under a lot of pressure to do it, there is no point. I would rather not just do it. So I focus on getting the best experience from it. When I'm journaling, I focus on how I'm feeling, how it makes me feel. Am I enjoying what I'm doing? That is the most important thing. It's time to write now. When you open that journal, what are you going to write? What should you write? What should you put down? What is the first sentence? What exactly are you going to write when you open your journal? It's not hard. It's only hard if you begin to overthink it. How effectively you journal will depend, like I said, on the goals and the purpose you have established for your journaling. Let's just say you want to focus on goal setting and productivity journaling. When you want to look at your goals and analyze them and journal about them, the questions you should be answering in your journal are: what are the goals I set for the week before? What were the ones that I met? What were the ones I didn't meet? How can I show up better next week? What practical steps can I take towards achieving them next week? How can I be more productive? What can I adjust? What worked? What didn't work? And so many other questions as relating to your goals. The questions should be specific. It should be relating to the goals you have set. Maybe for that day, that is if you journal daily, or for that week if you journal weekly, and for that month if you journal monthly. So you are looking at what worked and what didn't work and how to improve. That is how you're supposed to be journaling. So if you are journaling for goal setting and productivity, You already know the kind of questions you should be answering whenever you open your journal. If self-reflection and self-discovery journaling is something you also do, the questions you should be asking are: what experience stood out for me this week? How did they affect me? What can I learn from them? It could be a good experience, it could be a bad experience. You look at the experiences you had during that day or during that week, ask yourself questions about them. If there is an emotion you have been struggling with, or there was an emotion you struggled out through the day and you want to journal about it, of course you are exploring that emotion. So you're asking yourself, why do I feel this way? When do I usually feel this way? What are my triggers? What exercises am I undertaking for the following week to help me deal with this emotion? You get the idea, right? The type of journaling and the style of journaling you are using will already help you know the kind of questions you should be asking yourself whenever you open your journal. When you've started journaling, staying consistent can be hard. I'm just going to give you 4 things you have to bear in mind on staying consistent with journaling. The first one is set realistic expectations. Don't set journaling goals you know that you cannot meet. I used to journal every day until I realized that it was stressing me out. I could not keep up, and I started viewing journaling as this chore. But then I realized that once weekly would work for me, and it has been working fine. Choose what works for you. Don't put yourself under a lot of pressure. Second thing you have to understand is that journaling is a journey, right? You are not going to automatically be good at journaling. You'll try so many times, you will fail so many times, but ultimately you have to understand that this is an experimental period for you, especially if you haven't even journaled before. You are allowed to experiment, so you figure out what works for you. I have been journaling for years now, and even at that, I'm still struggling to make my journaling experience enriching. We are all still basically trying to figure it out. The third thing I'm going to say is avoid perfection. When you open your journal, don't be under pressure for you to write well or to keep your thoughts organized. The writing does not have to be perfect. It can be messy. Yes, you're allowed to make mistakes and cancel a lot, and that is part of the experience. So one hack that works for me is setting the mood for journaling. There are some certain activities that makes it easier for me to journal. I'm a Christian, so I read my Bible, I study every day, I pray. So whenever I have this deep prayer session or deep worship session, there is just this inspiration to write. And once I begin to write, I keep writing. So you have to look at that time of the day or that time of the week or that particular activity you do throughout the week that makes it easier for you to get into that journaling spirit, right? And leverage on it. This is how you can start to journal. Remember, you don't have to be perfect. Set realistic goals. Make sure that your purpose is clearly defined, because once you understand your purpose and your goals, each time you open your journal to journal, it's going to be easy for you to flow. Until my next video, keep growing, keep writing, get your journal, start journaling, and yeah, see you at the top. Bye.